Not other the LED. So on the sensor itself, if you have the sensor, it has the LED here. The LED is good when you have an issue. Let's say bad sensor, it will blink orange each like 10 seconds. And we don't need to cover the LED, so just put one tire up like beside. So it could be left or right, and each tire ups on the sensor and keep going with the other sensors. So the sensor must be, it can be on the middle, it can be left or right. So for the one fence panel about 10 feet wide by 8 feet high, we suggest that you put, from the ground level at 4 feet at least, the sensor, not too low. So it will cover all the panel. In the middle of the fence, yeah, exactly. And when you have like a several fence panel, when you reach the middle post, you have to make a small loop and you keep going until you reach the end of line. So fix minimum one sensor per panel, 3 tie wraps per sensors, and you keep going with all the sensor until you reach the end of line. So this is an example of the sensor on the fence using stainless steel also. So
Ramsey, would you suggest stainless steel tie wraps instead of?
I mean, stainless steel is good for longer life.
Okay.
So this is what we suggest. But sometimes it depends also the longer perimeter, the price, and everything. So some of them can use the UV, rated UV, not the standard tie wraps, because by longer it will crack. So yeah. So this is when you reach the middle post, you just make a small loop, just to don't have the cable too tight. So this is inside the link box. So the link box, you have 2 termination, terminal block. So red and black for the power, yellow and green for the data. In out to make first 100 meters, another 100 meters, and keep going. And now we have like 2 switch. The left switch, it's for parallel or cross cable, because usually when you put the first sensor of cable 100 meters and you need to put the second one, each sensor has label A and B. If you put 2A phase between the last 100 meters and the next one, you will have cross, so the system will not detect if you don't put that one. So what we suggest usually, we don't suggest to put 2A or 2B, so just keep going, so A and B until you reach the link box. To make another roll of cable, you continue with A and B and use continuous cable in that way. And then here, with the other one, you have this is the link box, but this is a French termination. So link box and termination box. So if you need to connect 328 feet together, so use the left side. Until you reach the end of line, you will use the right side, flip it.
Okay, so it's the same box for
it's in the same box.
And it's the same box
Yeah.
at the very end to finish the run.
Yes.
You just put the dip switch.
Exactly, just the dip switch
now
to
it
end of
knows
line.
it's done.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
And if you don't speak French, you just need to know that T is termination, so R is going to be link.
Okay.
T for termination, right? And then the other one.
Yeah. So the same thing. So the termination link can be installed, also must be installed on the fence to be linked together, and it has like anchors here. It can flip it to 360 degrees, so you can put it has holes. You can put the tie wraps, and just start it with each row of cables routed together. It's very, very simple, very easy to maintain. Yeah. So usually the termination link box is to be able to connect 2 rolls of cables together, or to bypass gate, such as sliding gates. If you put 2 link box and use non-detector cable, we have to use those box to be able to continue the perimeter fence line. So this is another picture zoomed, so it has also like the capacitor on it with the transistor. This is good for lightning surge protection built in inside. And this is like the one of the sensor zoom in, so it has labeled DNA. You can see it on it. So this is what I told you. So if you have like left and right side, so cable 1 and cable 2, be sure each cable, you know, it's the continue of the previous one, so A and B, and so on. So this is the same explanation, and this is the mark. So if you have like 2A or 2B, you have to put on the cross, or if you have A and B or B A, it depends on which way you start the fence. So you have to use the continue switch. So this is an example of double swing gate. So double swing gate, if you need to protect each side of the gate using the sensor. So we have all the sensor, we make a small loop, we put one sensor on one fence panel, and we make another loop, we use link box, so non-detect the cable, and we keep going the same pattern, and we will protect at the same time the gate. So now we can go up to 10 virtual zone, we can dedicate one zone, let's say zone number 9 or 10, it will be only for the gates. So that case, it will be sent to the VMS, and the VMS knows zone number 9 is at the gate, so they can make schedule on it, and they can apply a different action on it. So this is another slide that explains the gates. So when we have the gates, we have two link box. So the maximum of distance allowed to don't have any problem with the signal is less than 200 meters. So 18 gauge for wires, we recommend conductor cable. Now we have another option that we can protect the gate. So this is what I told you about the gate connectors. It's a 2-link box that doesn't have the electronic board, only terminal block, simple one. And it has the Molex cable, waterproof, that has been developed by Protech. And now we can use for double swing gate or single swing gate, we can use sensor cable, make a small loop, and then put link box together and keep going. And that way we don't need to trench. That option can be used for gates that is not usually open. So it will save trenching and other stuff like that. Yeah, this is the inside. So if you see that, just simple. No. It's not magic.
It just snaps apart.
Yeah.
You're saying it's Molex, right?
Yeah, it's Molex. I mean on the 2 Molex cable, it's like 4 pins when you open, and there is 2 arrows. So the 2 arrows must be phased. So just unplug and replug, and it may make
So
connection.
if someone opens a gate but forgets to undo it, it'll undo itself.
Yeah, I mean usually those gate connectors inside, if they open, if they forget to connect, you will lose that section. So they need
But you're not going to damage it if they forget to undo it and they open
No,
the
it
gate.
will not damage it. So this is the internally electronic board of the Defense 2400. So it has like dry contact relay number 1 to relay number 10. It's dedicated for zoning. And relay 11 and relay 12 is 2 independent relay for temper and for technical alarm, if someone cut the cable or something else. I will show you also how to generate or how to simulate a technical alarm. It's very simple, because sometimes on the site you don't need to cut the cable physically, but just switch for UTUR. It will be open at the end. It will not be end of line. So in that case, you will generate like a bad sensor inside. And this is the RS45 AMB for data ground. This is good for connecting to the max bus. So it has the configuration, as I show you, the black box here, and sensitivity level, detection, switch at left and right, so detection 1, detection 2, left and right side. It has also the power, 12 volt DC to 24 volt DC, the power button here. This is terminal block to start the left side, sensor cable, and the right side. And here you have auxiliary input 1 and 2, plus and minus. So this is good for, let's say you need to attach the infrared barrier, dry contact relays to auxiliary 1, auxiliary 2, and use the Maximus, so everything will be centralized in it. And the IP base, to communicate with the web-based interface. So it's all of the explanation. And the log, it will keep up to 50,000 last log. So you can even export the logs, check if you need to compare with the alarm panels or EMS. So you will have more details into the GFence logs instead of the VMS, because the VMS would take the zone intrusion, timestamp, everything. But inside the GFence, you will have more details about the value of the sensitivity per sensor. So everything you will have
The
inside.
logs are stored on this?
Sorry?
The logs are stored on this?
Yeah. So cable configuration, as I told you, so once you did the physical installation, you put the GFence, you put the sensor, you put the UTUR or several ones, you end of line. So be sure that the end of line will be on UT, and in between the two sensor cable rolls, it will be on UR. And then you have to power the UG when you put all the powers. So you hear a small beep, and then you are ready to make the commissioning, the discovery of all the sensors. So move the switch on cable 1 or cable 2. It depends if you need to discover the left or the right. So if you flip it on the right side, so 2 short beeps confirm the configuration mode, the red LED flash. When the system makes 1 beep and the red light is off, the configuration is over. So everything has been discovered. Now you can put back, if you need, just put back on the detection mode. And to create all the visual zones, the number of impact, this must be done directly through the web-based interface. I will show you after also. So you need to make the same step on the other side also. So this is an example as we saw. So we can put the control inside. We can start 2 loops. So non-detector cable with the first link box on each side. And we can start sensor cable and going on until we reach the end of line in that case. So this is explaining the relays. So this is what I put here in the red arrow, up to 2 times 200 meters of regular cable of connection with detection cable. And 1 sensor every 10 feet. And then we can create virtual zones. Zone number 1, 2. So the zone itself, it could be 600 meters, as we can put 3 meters if we need, depends. So it's very flexible. So this is the cable configuration. So we have a screen for setting, for zoning, for visualization, and for history. So now if we need to adjust the sensitivity of level, so here at the top, I don't know if you see here. So at the top you have the sensitivity, so you put the configuration mode. It's the same as you flip it, but it's web-based. So put the configuration mode, click send, you will send the beep, you will see, you will hear the beep, and then you can select all the sensor. So you see that you have a drop-down menu, sensor, you can select all the sensor. And then the value, you can select the value number 1 to value number 16. You need more sensitive or less sensitive. So by default, we suggest the value 8 is the optimal value, but you can play with it. It depends on the health of the fence itself. Once you select all the sensor, so let's say the sensitivity level 8, you just click send. It will save that value to all the sensor. So you will have all the sensor here, sensor number 1 up to 120. On each side, you will have the same value 8. Once you did that, you have just to go back to the detection mode, send, and then flip back configuration mode with direction number 2. So left and right, and do the same steps. Is that clear actually for the configuration? How to make the value, to play with it? I will show you after on the real one. And now how you set up the zone. Very easy into the zoning here.